In an interview, it's really easy to freeze up, and what we're going to do today is model for you a few ways that you can handle some questions that you're asked during an interview. One thing we'll do is model for you how to answer a question you just don't know the answer to. Another thing we'll do is model for you what does it look like to answer a situational question. And we'll model the technique called STAR. STAR stands for situation, task, action, result. What you'll do is describe the context of the situation, the tasks you were responsible for, the actions you took to complete the task, and the positive results you got from the actions that you took. Today I have Craig Quincy, a managing lead instructor here at Galvanize, and he's going to play the role of the interviewee and show you the best way to answer a few of these questions. Welcome, Craig. Thanks for doing this. One thing that I'm going to do right now is ask you a question that what I want you to do as the interviewee is pretend like you don't know the answer to this question and then answer it in a variety of ways. Potential hires go into interviews and may not know the answer, and they may not know exactly how to approach it. So I want to show our viewers a few different ways of approaching the question, and some that are good and some that are not so good. So we'll go ahead and get started.
Thanks for having me in.
Cool. So the question I have for you is, what are the advantages of using BSON?
I don't know. Can we do the next question instead?
So the answer that Craig gave was technically correct. He doesn't know the answer, but it's probably the wrong way to approach the question at this stage of the game. So let's see if he can come up with a better way of answering this question. Again, Craig, what are the advantages of using BSON?
I don't know, but the bison was a large North American ungulate that roamed North America. I know they can still be found in Yellowstone and sometimes are used as a substitute for beef.
All right, so while that was a very interesting answer, it was the completely wrong approach to take for answering this question. So let's see if you can try it one more time and do a little bit of a better job than talking about bison. Let's try once more. All right, Craig, one more time. What are the advantages of using BSON?
I'm not familiar with BSON, but it sounds a little bit like JSON, which I know is a way to serialize information to make it easier to transport. And that stands for JavaScript Object Notation. Can you tell me what the B stands for in BSON? And maybe that would help me to know how to approach this question better, or how you guys are currently using it in your systems.
So that was a wonderful way to answer the question. He gave us some insight into what he does know technically, and then he also expressed interest in what our company is doing. And that's the way that you handle a question that you don't quite know the answer to. Not all of the questions you'll get asked in an interview are technical. Sometimes you'll get asked soft skills or situational questions. So let's talk about how to use the STAR method to approach one of those questions. So Craig, tell me about a time that you made a mistake at work and how did you handle it?
Wow, that's a tough question. When I was a new web developer at a company once, I was charged with setting up a new customer site, and they had very detailed instructions for how to do it, so it seemed like a really easy thing to do. I went through the instructions that they had, and then I went off to lunch. When I came back to lunch, from lunch there had been an emergency that had happened from someone taking down all of the systems, which it turned out was me.
Oh no.
So my boss wanted to know why I had done that, and it turned out there was some passwords that had to be entered that wasn't really obvious that it had errored out, and I hadn't done that step. So because of that, I decided I didn't want to make that mistake again myself, and also to prevent other people from doing it, I changed the instructions that had been given. And then because other places I had worked, this wasn't a step that needed to be done, I actually ended up working with the system administrator to remove that step, and ultimately we were able to script a lot of this manual configuration.
Craig, that was a wonderful answer. And what I'd like you to do is explain to our viewers how you use the STAR technique to come up with that answer.
Sure. In order to go through a situation that was difficult or problematic, it's important to do a couple things. One is to be honest, but also to set a story and not ramble on. So STAR technique, so I described the situation, which I was new to as a web developer. The task that I was undergoing was setting up these servers and ultimately taking them down. And then the action that I took at the end was to make sure there were procedures in place that made it so that this mistake didn't occur again. And the positive result was not only that the mistake didn't happen again, but also that we were able to go on and make a better system from it.
When you're interviewing, it's important to be able to answer the questions that are asked of you. But what's equally important is to come to the table with questions about the company. It shows that you've done your research and you're also really interested in working there. Craig, can you give us some examples of some questions that potential hires might ask an employer?
Sure. Questions I like to ask are, how do you integrate new members into the team? What have you been working on the last quarter and what do you have coming up? Another good question might be, how could I exceed your expectations? In a web development environment, I like to ask, how do you take ideas or products from your customers and requests, and how do they go through life cycle of development at your company? And another question I like to ask is, how does your company encourage growth in its employees?
Thanks, Craig. Those are some really great questions. We've talked about a few of the things that you need to be aware of when you're interviewing. But the most important thing is to do your research and come to the table with excitement and understanding about the interview process.